Hey now, and welcome to the City Off Campus podcast with your two favorite hosts, Sammy Summerfeld and Jack McFarland. Jack, before we dive into the pod, we're recording this Monday, July 5th, post July 4th. I have to say, this was a pretty relaxing weekend. I don't know about you, but no work for 3 days. For us, I think that's a pretty rare thing where we get so much free time. What was the highlight of your 4th of July weekend?
It's going to be really, you're going to be really pissed when I say this, but my highlight was honestly seeing Dave Portnoy start accepting Division III football players and like cross country runners and roasting them online, but saying, sure, yeah, I didn't know I needed you until I needed you or until I saw you. That was hilarious. And just for me, because of Barstool, Iowa, it was insane. Just an insane weekend. The Wild West is upon us, and for the dead period of sports that is the summer, we have a Wild West ahead of us for the next couple of years until someone knows how to regulate this, because I don't think anybody knows what's ahead of us with this NIL shit. Seriously, it's untapped.
Not to make fun of you, but right before we record the pod, I quote for quote called the NIL the Wild West, so he just stole my take.
No, but I've even said it before that. It 100% is, and it's bro, who knows? Nobody knows what's going on. This shit just got passed unanimously, and then they're like, hey, state by state, you guys got to figure this out. And then it's students are like, well, shit, I don't want to lose my eligibility and turn into Reggie Bush 2.0, like you said off camera just before this. But yeah, that is a real worry for these athletes right now.
So I would say the highlight of my weekend was probably hooping, because I haven't hooped in a while, and I was playing. I'm in Iowa City. Jack's chilling off campus. Get it? But I'm in Iowa City, and I'm so used to affiliating Iowa City with coldness and misery.
Jesus Christ, dude! Iowa City's kind of nice.
Well, I love Iowa City. I just hate the weather in January and February. As a guy from Florida, the cold, not fun. It's just not fun. When in Florida it's 70 degrees out and you could be at the beach. It's
dude, I honestly, I say this all the time. I don't think I'd ever be able to live in Florida personally. I hate humidity. And I feel
Iowa City in the summer is Florida without the beach.
I know. Believe me, I haven't had much say on where I can live so far in my life. I've lived in humidity central my entire life. So I know. Yeah.
But I was loving the humidity in Iowa. I was enjoying it, hooping. We played against this kid. I was telling you off camera, but I have to share this with the audience. I was playing against an offensive lineman who was 6'3", at least 280. And he was bodying pretty hard. We were getting jerked around a little bit. And then he had a 5'9", long-haired, shirtless, fast guy on a speedster on his team who couldn't make shots, but he moved around. So it was just a workout. We lost by 1 point, unfortunately, but it was a battle. It was a battle on the Iowa City streets.
How many points you have?
I had a solid 20 out of the 21 points, Yep, just nonstop,
okay.
Just shoot.
Okay, KD, for sure.
But I would say though, after this game, I've kind of been contemplating. I've been seeing some club baseball players and stuff get Barstool Athlete approved at different places, not to call one place out. So I'm kind of wondering, I play basketball for fun. Could I be a Barstool Athlete? That's what I'm hoping I can get out this weekend.
Yeah, shit, why not? I
might have to apply.
I think the term athlete can be flexed in a lot of different directions. I had friends asking me if they could be athletes for drinking. Yeah, if you want to be that guy and submit an application saying, hey, I'm an athlete because I drink. Cool. You're gonna have to, bear that cross for the rest of your life. But I think anybody could be an athlete. It's just a matter of what's your sport? Sport.
So do you think Barstool athletes could also turn to Barstool managers and stuff? So all the managers who are almost athletes, but just not there, could be flexed into being a Barstool manager? I think that would be a big move.
I think that's like I said, the Wild West. We have no idea where this is going to go. There could be some Barstool managers in the running. Who knows? I mean, who would be my first pick is the kid from the baseball team. I don't remember his name, but
Oh,
the one that would
yeah.
run down
Oh,
the
the
foul
track
balls.
star.
Yeah.
Dude, he's the track star.
Run down the foul balls down the line. Now that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. It's an unheralded job. That's a dirty job, but that's something people need to know about. And I think that would be, I agree. I think that would be something that could definitely catch some steam.
My goal next year when we go to Iowa baseball games is I want to make a big fat head of that kid. And I'm there not to watch the game. I'm there to watch him get foul balls because that was entertaining. Imagine that on Twitter. Imagine if you're scrolling and you see that type of content with a little background music. Imagine getting some of the players lineup songs and stuff in there before they go up to hit and warm-up songs. I was thinking of the word. Imagine him having his own warm-up song. That'd be epic in a Barstool highlight.
Yeah, no, it'd be unreal. You know what else was epic was I read that Joe Wieskamp at the NBA Combine jumped 42 inches.
Yeah, well, Joe Wieskamp balled out with 26 and 10 at one of the games.
42 inches.
I know. Well, dude,
that's more than Tyler Cook did. That's more than Tyler Cook.
I think Cook had 41 or 40.
He had 38, he said.
Oh, so really?
That's just for comparison.
I thought he got 40.
And I read Wieskamp 6'7" and 3/4 without shoes on.
Mm-hmm.
Unit.
Yeah.
I could have swore he was 6'6".
Yeah, but also too, do you see Luka? He has 30 pounds off of him. He looks a little less clunky. And here's my thing.
No, he still looks clunky, bro.
He looks clunky, but he's a little less clunky.
now.
Yeah, but that's better than bigger and clunky. But I'm worried I have to eat my own words. I vowed.
You did.
For the last 3 years of my life, Luka will not get drafted in the NBA. If he does get drafted, it would be late second round. I'm kind of wondering if he gets a mid-second round pick here now. I'm moving it up a little. He's not a first rounder, but if he gets drafted in the first round, I don't know.
No. Here's the question I want to pose you is who do you think goes first, Wieskamp or Garza? Because after this week
that's the dumbest question I've ever heard in my life.
No,
Wieskamp.
But people are saying Joe could go undrafted. People are saying that Joe could be an undrafted guy. People are saying that Luka could still be undrafted. Dude, we have no idea how this is going to go. Seriously, we act like we do.
I've been hearing Wieskamp could go anywhere between 27 and 34.
If he goes first round, I'd throw up. I don't think he should.
Oh, I think he could. And
I'd be surprised.
Because the only thing that I've heard from people that's kind of been held against him is his athleticism. People thought he wasn't as much of an athlete, but I think he's kind of shown he's more of an athlete. I wonder why
people say that.
Well, I mean, dude, look at his vert. He's proven people wrong. He's more athletic than people thought.
Wow. Yeah.
But the other thing, though, too, is he just signed with Priority Sports, which is Barlstein's agency. If you don't know, Barlstein is one of the biggest agents in the NBA. And he has a lot of prospects and stuff. He actually works out guys at one of the big gyms in River North in Chicago. So I have some friends that work out there and they just see prospects all day in and out. It's actually really cool. But for him to sign with Priority Sports, because that's the thing is you have to also look at who these guys' agents are, because big agencies don't take, especially in basketball, guys who are going undrafted.
You know who else signed with Priority Sports?
Who?
Gordon Hayward.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
it's a pretty good comparison right there.
That's not bad.
I'm saying, in the way that Gordon
Hayward's as much of a shooter, though.
The way that Gordon Hayward came out of college, people question if he could even play in the NBA because he's some long-haired white kid that went to Butler. He doesn't. You don't know if he could translate. Athleticism's the question. He can do everything else. I mean, that's what people are saying about Joe Wieskamp.
So here's Front Office Sports did a thing on Joe Wieskamp after the combine, who's the biggest riser, and here's what they've said about him: 95th percentile offensively, 91st percentile in spot up shooting, 88th percentile getting off screens, 46% from the 3-point line, which is an average of 5 threes a game, and then 60% efficiency.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds about like what I did during my days. So,
I mean, the thing with Wieskamp is he has the body, he can shoot, He's a mobile guy. I think he goes early. I mean, I think he goes early second round, late first round, to be honest right now.
If he goes first round, I'll shave my head. I didn't nope. Staying to that.
Nope. You're doing it, and you're doing it on the pod.
Dude, I can't. I'm sorry.
You know how you asked me about getting the buzz the other day? You're getting the buzz.
All right. I mean, if I get a buzz, then I'll have to just rock a hard mustache. So whatever. I'll make it happen.
And you got to wear some camo. You got to bring camo into the repertoire.
Yeah. I'm going to get some pit vipers too. I'm going to look like I'm 30 years older than I am.
You just got to wear the camo pants. If you wear camo pants in August, I will respect that so much. It'll be so great.
Tuck them into some brown combat boots. Look like a scum.
And then I'll submit it to Barstool, Iowa.
Yeah. Awesome. Definitely freaking post that one.
I mean, I respect it if you'd post yourself, to be honest. Like, that would be a respectable thing. That shows you have some, like...
Yeah, if I ever did anything worthy. I mean,
that's pretty worthy.
Yeah, if I buzz my
So
head.
right now, I'm seeing him as... In terms of prospect, people are having him around like 48 too.
I saw 54.
Like 27 and 48.
Hey, if you were Luka and you were Wieskamp, where would you want to get drafted? Because if I'm Luka, I want to get drafted wherever there's a big man that can like put me under his wing and not make me the focal point. I don't know. I feel like putting Luka, I don't think he'll get drafted to be a focal point, but like I think he could be really exposed unless he has someone to eat minutes in front of him, if that makes any sense.
Right. Well, I'd want him to go to a place where they have a good G League system.
Yeah.
I'd want to put Luka in the G League, develop him 2-3 years, and just say, hey, you're in and out of the facility, but we've got you. And I would probably put him in a young team situation where he could grow, because then he could either do one of two things if everything worked out. One, he becomes a blue chip prospect in the NBA in terms of a young upcoming player that people saw develop and they're still interested in, that he could be a trade piece in a bigger trade.
All right, fuck it. I know where I think Luka should go.
Or I was going to say, what?
Washington.
Oh, okay. So I was going to say like a Washington or Detroit where they're kind of rebuilding, but they have a couple pieces where then like he has the opportunities. I wouldn't put him necessarily. I think football is a better place where you can put people under your wing and then you can kind of grow. I think basketball, everybody has their own game that you can have vets who lead you, but if people kind of eat up your shots and minutes, you can't really develop to be the player you want to be.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I think it'd be interesting too if, I mean, obviously the scenario comes and let's say one or both of them isn't drafted. That undrafted like signing option does give you flexibility to pick a destination like that and say like, hey, I know where I am and like I understand like maybe I should take an extra year or two. I'm down. And like that's like where I kind of started that with like I could definitely see one or maybe both, who knows, of them like actually realistically going undrafted and then get that choice.
So there is a place I want Wieskamp to go. I've said this forever because I've always compared him to him. I'd love to see him go to Utah. And the reason I'd love to see him go to Utah is that I always think of Wieskamp as a Joe Ingles type of player, like a 3-and-D guy.
Yeah, and you know, Joe is like, now that he is listed like a true 6'7", 6'8", that's like a lot of people always had this thought that he'd just be like a 2 guard, but when you're 6'8", you're a little longer.
I mean, he's so long. If you've ever been to a game, his arms are so big.
Yeah, and I mean, today's NBA, you have to be able to, not like they run zone all the time, but like Joe would be fantastic if in a situation you want him to play the top of his zone. Like he's so long. He is. I'd say he's more like offensively gifted than like this is a bad comparison, like a Matisse Thybulle, but like Joe is long like that. Like he has like his body is just like a lanky. He doesn't have to do much.
Thybulle,
oh, definitely more than Thybulle. But I'm saying
Thybulle's
like
more of a
body size. Like Thybulle's like a 6'7" maybe. So yeah, I'm really excited. You know, this is like one of the first time in how many years that Hawk fans have, you know,
a guy going in.
Two
guys to watch, but one guy really in it. And like it sucks because Luka's gotten all this attention and his dad makes all these hype videos and stuff for him still.
God bless his dad going that like OG route of tagging the teams, and like it's like that's the shit. I love that.
It's like it's a bold play. It's a bold play. Like I don't even know who Luka signed to agency wise, but it's one of those things with Luka. Like it's the guy I compare him to, and not in terms of style of play, but coming into the draft is almost like a Denzel Valentine, but Denzel Valentine was better going into the NBA.
They were just like tweeners physically.
Like they were national player of the years. Like they had great games, but they didn't have the same hype from college to NBA.
They just didn't like their question mark, like, and still what is for Denzel, I'd say from watching him for like 3 years is he's not athletically like dominant on the court, but like Denzel's good at like a lot of things. He's not like exceptional at any of those things.
Yeah, but like, you can plug him in wherever.
Yeah, you can plug him in. Now, was like looking back, Denzel was what, a first-round pick?
Yeah.
Is he worth a first-round pick? No. So it's like now you have to kind of put that into consideration when seeing someone like Luka, and you're like, let's just call him 2-time player of the year because no way Obi Toppin is fucking.
Denzel was a lottery pick technically. It was the 14th pick in the
like
draft.
that's insane to see like him now, and like you can plug him in. He's a role player. He's someone that you would pay, I don't know, no more than like 3 or 4 or 5 million for, and it's just like come in for a year and play. That's not like what you do for a lottery pick. So I think that will be like one of the question marks on Luka is like, can he translate from like college to pro and be that like, he's got the pedigree.
I think he can. I think he can tune the league. It's just everything else. I'm just like,
it's just like physically getting up and
keep
down.
Up with the speed. Yeah, and like
the pace.
Will he wear down throughout the game if he's not fast enough or whatever to keep up with the guys in transition?
And one thing that like kind of just popped into my brain right now is like another question mark people have is obviously Luka's on ball or off ball defense, and one thing that really like comes to mind is, do you think a given team, like let's just fast forward hypothetical, like once Luka's, if he's in the NBA, do you think a team's going to need to like match Luka up with against a big that isn't maybe offensively gifted, that is defensively really dominant, and it forces Luka to obviously maybe press because he's not getting the looks he could, but this guy's not going to be threatening Luka when Luka's on defense. So is this going to make him like a one-dimensional player? I don't know. I think that's where you give him those 2 years in the G League to let him really learn and develop with a lower caliber to the NBA, but it's still like professional basketball to an extent.
Well,
so
I mean, G League's gotten better, and I mean, so many players have developed out of it now too. I mean, a lot of teams. I mean, I talked to some guys who work in the league, and like they love sending their players to G League. It just gives them time to focus, get their shots up, really develop, work on what they need to work on. And like you've seen it, like we've seen players come out of it stronger and better. But my thing with Luka is I respect him chasing the NBA dream. I totally get it. It makes sense when you're National Player of the Year. The thing I wonder, and the money will be there for Europe, is it worth going to the G League, getting a few 10 days, maybe making the league a little bit, and maybe even exceeding expectations and becoming a rotational guy, whatever, or going to Europe where he's going to get a guaranteed $1 million, 6-figure offer to play, get a shoe deal, whatever. Do you ride off the hype train of being the National Player of the Year to give up that money to chase a dream in the NBA? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
that's where my question is.
That's
and
interesting.
I get it. And the thing is, you don't want to live with the regret of not ever trying to get to the league. But it's just like I look at Europe and I'm like, he would be so good in Europe. Like, he would be such a good European player.
The game definitely would. He would be he's like. He could develop if he played like Europe all the way. And I mean, this is kind of like a far-fetched comparison, but like fast forward prime Luka, if he plays like full European basketball, call him like a Marc Gasol type player where he's just like, Marc
Gasol was really good at defense though.
Marc Gasol is really good at defense, but he's not like athletically like superior to everyone else. It's like what he does defensively is something you can teach and pick up. It's not like he's like out jumping anybody or doing anything that athletically something like Luka couldn't do. But you don't need, like in Europe, like I don't think the pace would be as big of a problem. And that's like the biggest question mark every time, is like getting up and down the court, getting your set, getting your guy, making sure there's no holes. And it's like, it's a lot to ask in today's NBA. And I mean, he, like you said, he dropped 20 pounds. He was listed at 265. He weighed in at like 243. That's awesome. That's something everybody wanted to see. So I think it bodes well for him going forward. I don't know what to expect with this. Seriously, like I said again, it could be one or it could be both. Or it could be neither. Who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I could see him going to a team like Dallas.
That was one I had in my head too. I think he would be a really good fit for like a Dallas. I agree with that.
Because I could kind of see that, but we'll see, bro. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, it's exciting to still be talking about Iowa basketball in
with the
July.
NBA, with the draft. Yeah,
I mean,
it's not something you do every day.
But actually, let's throw in some Iowa basketball. I know we didn't plan to talk about it, but what do you think we're gonna do this year? Because I believe in the guys, and I think we have pieces there, but I'm worried we're gonna have a year of not rebuilding, but retooling, of redeveloping our style of play. And then next year's kind of a year where we make a push. Is kind of what I've been wondering. And I think we still, because we have enough talent, I think we can still make a tournament. I just don't know if we can really do anything. Because I think Keegan is going to be a beast. I mean, I think he was a playmaker this year. The thing I wonder is, with more expectations and pressure, does he make the leap where, everybody said, in some of these mock drafts for next year are saying he's a first round pick. So with a guy who was a 0-star athlete, basically, and now he's coming to Iowa, and
That's so Iowa.
Yeah. And then he comes here and he's like, oof, we've got a dude here. Like we've got a guy. And now he's coming in. Hey, we just had a National Player of the Year and you're our guy now. Like, can he make that leap? I think the McCaffreys are going to be really, I think Connor's going to be great because he's going to be that coach on the floor that they need when they need it. He's going to kind of stabilize things when he comes off the bench, or how it starts, however they're playing him. I don't really know. I think Pat's going to have a year. People have told me they've seen Pat and he's been looking good. I've had some friends who have seen him play and stuff at a few different things, and they're saying he's looking good, like how we've kind of hoped he could turn out, being a two-way type of guy. Right. I think Toussaint's going to bring the rhythm. I think my questions right now are, do the other young guys develop? Do the Tony Perkins?
That's the thing. You need a Tony Perkins to come in, and I think that's
Chris Murray turn, into a rotational guy.
I think like Tony Perkins,
Riley
you bring him out on the floor. You bring out Tony Perkins, man. He's a plus defender. Like he could be an all Big Ten defender. I think this Iowa team, a lot of people aren't going to expect it, but I think they're going to be like one of the better, grittier Iowa teams you might have seen. Because I think there is a subconscious knowing that they aren't going to be able to go down and score at will.
Yeah.
With Luka, with Joe. It doesn't matter. You don't have 1A, 1B anymore.
J-Bo.
Yeah. You got J-Bo fucking sitting off ball. Hopefully the ball's out of his hands. God bless him.
Slinging shots all day.
Look, you can sit back and take your threes, but we need someone else to handle the ball. And when you're not getting those sure backup, Luka hooks, you need stops. And I think they're going to play a lot of those younger guys to get them those reps so they can come in.
I think Rabracha brings it too.
I agree. And I really do think this team is going to be a lot grittier than, a lot of people said they were last year. A lot of people said they would just get pushed around, punched. It's the soft Iowa team that can't play D, only scores. And I mean, that was the case, I'd say, for the first third or first half of the year. But they really turned it on once they saw, obviously, March and the Big Ten tournament. And, you really saw the defense really kick in. So I think they have the capability of doing it. But I think this Iowa team is going to have to be defensively driven, and that's not something you say very often. It's more of like a Wisconsin type of game. And look, you got to play to your personnel, and not that Iowa doesn't have the personnel to score. It's they don't have the guys that can create their own shot and get a mismatch and score like they with Luka and Joe. They do, but there is always going to be that Fran system that they have to play within. And yeah, there's a lot of options within Fran systems, but it's just the way that they are. And
well, here's what I've been thinking.
One last thing with this Iowa defense, we won't fucking see the zone anymore with Luka gone. That's the last thing I'll have to say about that.
Well, the thing that I am so optimistic about with our team this year is I think the Big Ten's wide open, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think Michigan's going to be good. Like
I think Ohio State will be good.
And I think EJ Liddell is going to carry OSU to be the best team in the Big Ten. That's what I think is going to happen with them, because also they have a lot to prove after last year, after getting knocked out.
Big flop.
But for us, Illinois doesn't have a dude anymore because Kofi left too.
I actually scratched that. They got
transfer portal.
I'll give Illinois this. That Curbelo guy, he's cold. He's cold. Like I kind of liked watching him. He's nice.
And I think they have a guy coming in who's a freshman, but
they have another another Caribbean player.
Yeah, but the thing with Illinois is they haven't all played together, like how Kofi and what's his name, the point guard?
Ayo Dosunmu.
Yeah, Ayo. Like Ayo's gone, Kofi's gone, which is huge because we don't have to worry about trying to find a guy to match up with Kofi. And Minnesota, new coach, new system.
They lost their center too, Liam Robbins.
Yeah. And then Nebraska's Nebraska. Like, what's Fred Hoiberg really going to do in Nebraska? Come on. They're not even worth bringing up. Then Wisconsin. They're Wisconsin. They might not
Brad
be
Davison. Brad's still there for his ninth year.
Thank God.
He's on the Perry Ellis college career journey.
And then Northwestern, who knows? I don't know anything about them right now.
Wild card. In Indiana, new coach, new culture. Who knows?
I mean, he's bringing in some dudes, but I'm not buying into the Indiana hype until they start winning games.
I honestly think the Big Ten's kind of ass next year.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's like it's wide open. So
compared to like this past season,
we still have a bunch of dudes who have played together for years. Between Connor, Pat, JT, Jabo, even the freshmen, like a lot of the freshmen, they've played together for a while now too.
Yeah.
Or the sophomores or redshirt sophomores, whatever. Like we've got guys who have been around.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're forgetting one special guy.
Austin Ash.
Yeah.
The Ashashin.
Yeah. And he's been there for a minute. So like we got a lot of returners.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were very pessimistic after last season for a good reason. I mean, losing with Luka, Joe, and everyone else. I mean, it sucks.
And
CJ. Hey, CJ too. That stinks. But hey, it's Iowa. They don't rebuild. They usually reload somehow. And you get guys like Keegan Murray that come in as 0 stars in their first round mocks. It's like, okay, well, now you got something to work with. And you got Pat, who's growing, and he's literally a giant. Like, Pat's huge. So you don't got a lot of worries when you're Iowa. You just got to play within your system, do your game, and hey, as long as you make the tournament, I don't think anybody expects anything different. Like, you can make a run for the Big Ten, sure. Like, that's an absolute buzzsaw. And it was proven. Illinois won the Big Ten tournament, went through the entire buzzsaw, and then what? They lost to a team that played better defense, and that was that in the tournament. So maybe winning the Big Ten isn't the smartest thing sometimes. Who knows? Maybe you just save it for the tournament. Look, I think Iowa's going to be good for next year. I think they're good for a tournament bid. And that's all that matters. That's all you need.
And speaking of basketball, we're in the middle of the NBA playoffs. Now going into it, so we just got out of the conference finals. We got the Bucks and the Suns. Who would have thought the Bucks would clinch it with the other Antetokounmpo brother playing in the game, but not Giannis? Never would have thought that. I would have bet
Is it Thanasis?
Thanasis,
that's on Milwaukee. All right, and then there's Kostas that's on the Lakers.
Yeah. And
all right, see, I got my Antetokounmpos down. That's good of me.
Yeah. So then we have the Bucks there. Then I'm so happy for the Suns. I'm gonna be honest. I don't usually like root for teams that are mine that much, like in the playoffs, because I normally don't care. But I wanted to see CP3 in the finals, like so bad.
No, yeah, it's one of those legacy things. You
It's a
need to see
legacy
it
thing.
happen. Yeah,
And now too, I just find it funny because like the one guy out of the Banana Boat crew that hasn't made a finals is Melo, and I just feel like that's so fitting.
Hold on. Can I go off topic for one question?
Yeah.
Let's say Melo doesn't come back to the NBA.
Yeah.
Is he a Hall of Famer before Portland?
Is he a Hall of Famer before what?
Before Portland.
100%.
Oh man, one of the hottest takes I had, I think, my freshman year of college is I said Melo was a bum and he wasn't a Hall of Famer.
Well, I mean,
I don't know where it lined up.
He reached top 10 in scoring of all time. He got
I didn't
top
even
10 on the
know
scoring
that.
list.
Damn,
Yeah, he's
that
one
was
of the
an
best
ignorant
scorers.
comment of me.
That's an awful take.
Yeah, I mean, I'm eating it now, but it was
Yeah.
just something I've had held over my head, and I just didn't know where it stood the test of time. But yeah,
I would tuck that take away.
Yeah. Hey, you got to have him. You got to wear him. I'm standing behind it. It was a bad
dig the hole, bury it, walk away.
The couple of people that won't make the Hall of Fame: Carmelo Anthony and Julian Edelman. All right, continue. We'll keep going.
Julian Edelman, you're not wrong, but to see CP3, the whole thing with CP3, what I find so interesting is he basically got sent to the middle of nowhere, OKC. Go let your career die on this max deal. Screw you. He makes the playoffs with basically no talent around him, really. He just made everybody better.
With Shea, that's it.
With Shea, which I love Shea, but let's be real. Like everybody else he had. I mean, he had Schroeder too, but really, like, he didn't.
Well, Schroeder had no points for the Lakers this postseason.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a good guard, not that great. Yeah.
He takes them into the playoffs, and this is after his stint in Houston when he could have almost made the finals being a Warrior team, and he got hurt and had to sit out the last 2 games. So he had that hanging over him. This is the last real chance you'll ever make the finals, and that was the opportunity you had, and you didn't even get a play. That was hanging over him.
Yep.
And then OKC's like, you know what? We want to just stockpile draft picks. We want more picks because we lost out on KD, Westbrook, and Harden, where we could have won a championship the decade before. But they give him an option of, wherever the places were that he had offers from. He chooses the Suns to get a mini Kobe, is what I call Devin Booker, because that's what he is. Just the scores. That's it. Just has that scores mentality. And then DeAndre Ayton and the pieces around that came later. But he elevated their talent. Like, dude, given CP3 a Devin Booker type of talent, elevated his game. They're all playing for him. Like, he's a leader. I mean, working with Monty, it's just been awesome to watch. And I've been like a surrogate Suns fan this playoffs ever since the bubble, really. When they went 8-0 before CP3 even got there, it was just like,
oh yeah,
awesome
that was when
see.
That was D-Book's coming out party for everyone that didn't think he was legit.
Yeah. So it's like crazy to see how the momentum from the bubble. Everybody said, I remember they lost the game in the bubble to like make the playoffs, and they're like, they went into 8-0. They're gonna be back. Because didn't they lose? Like, did they just go? Yeah, they went 8-0 in the season. Then weren't they in the like bubble game or whatever to make the playoffs? And they lost. Against the Grizzlies, right? And then they lost, and they're like, they'll be back. And everybody was like, oh, this is gonna be a fun team to watch. And then here they are making runs. And like, the thing that is tough is they beat good teams each round, but there were hurt teams. That's my one knock.
Yeah, definitely.
It was LeBron was battling injuries at the end of the year, but also AD didn't play. Then they went to, who was the team they played next before the Clippers? I'm blanking.
The Jazz?
Did they play I was thinking they played the Jazz, but I thought the Clippers played the Jazz.
The Nuggets.
The Nuggets, yeah. They had no Jamal Murray.
No Murray, yep.
So that was kind of like whatever. They weren't a fully healthy Nuggets team. Then you played the Clippers, no Kawhi. So,
can I just one thing on the Clippers that I just kind of want to. Kawhi tore his ACL, right?
Yeah,
Why the fuck was everybody still tweeting, ooh, Kawhi is undecided for game 4? It's like, dude, no, there's no chance he's playing.
No.
Like, what are we talking about here? Like, I didn't know that there was any question. I read that the initial reports that he tore his ACL. Even if he partially tears that thing, there's no way he goes out on the floor. From what we know about Kawhi, and then, like, he sat out in San Antonio because he didn't feel like his body was right. Bro, there's no way he would put himself in that situation. That was just one headline I could not understand.
I'm just waiting for Kawhi to keep leaving teams every time he gets hurt.
Bro,
and he blames on the staff.
But I couldn't understand how people were like still like, oh, it's open. The Kawhi might return from this torn ACL.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, no, he's not Spencer Lee. This isn't happening. No. But continue. Sorry, that was just like so stupid. People kept talking about his ACL like he was gonna come back. I'm like, guys, stop.
So my one knock is like there were players hurt, and now they're going up against a hurt Giannis.
Yeah.
So like, I'm kind of like, he's not winning it full. Like my thing is, the Suns are good, but if they would have won up against all three of those teams fully healthy, if like the Clippers games were battles, and they weren't even fully healthy. So if they would have had Kawhi, like, would they really have made it? But at the same time, I just want to be happy for CP3 and be like, hey, this is your chance. Like, that's what I've been saying throughout the whole series.
I think that's the side. I think that's the side I fall on, just because it's like one of those NBA. It's just like a good story. It's one of those things where like CP3's been the definition of like what a point guard is supposed to do: elevate his teammates around him, distribute the ball. In his prime, he was one of the best defensive point guards, just taking the ball from you. So he did everything you needed to do with the ball in front of him or in his hands. And CP3's been the man. He had that trade to LA that was nixed, and that was like his real opportunity to like
good old David Stern.
Yeah, to get like a chance. And then he goes to the Clippers, Lob City. And part of my take was talking about it the whole time. Wouldn't it have been sick to have it Nick's son, CP3, against Blake Griffin?
Yeah.
And DeAndre. I'm pretty sure isn't DeAndre on the Nets?
I mean, Nets sons. You said Nick's son.
Oh, yeah, Nets sons. But, like, yeah, that would have been a dope storyline. That's like, everyone thought that Clippers team was lit. Like, they put people together. It was like
I told my brother, I was like, imagine if he beats the Clippers in LA, then has to face DeAndre and Blake Griffin.
That's like, I was hoping for that. And I know, like, losing Kyrie, Harden, you're asking KD to, like, shoot the ball every time. You're not going to win. And speaking of the Nets, like, briefly, they're not playing, but, like, they're going to win it next year if people can stay healthy. It's just like, hey, can you stay healthy? Like, and I don't know how long this like next break will be, because that's the thing we talked about a little before we recorded. It was like, you go from this bubble playoffs rather, and then you quickly turn around with half the time of an off season, maybe even like more than, like, it was just like a disgustingly short off season. And you put people back into a full 82 games, travel, everything. COVID protocols, like, it's a stress on everybody. And
you look at your families, there's strict rules. I mean, and trust me, like, it was way more luxurious for those guys than it would be for other people, like, who have to quarantine. But still,
it doesn't change the fact that they're playing a high level sport, and they're putting their bodies like into that much stress. And you look at this year's playoffs, like you just said with the Suns, they didn't play anybody really that healthy. Yeah, I mean, it's a result, and shout out LeBron. I mean, I guess LeBron's right about something, but it does have something to do with this quick turnaround, because the league wanted to make the money on the same schedule that they've had. And look, I mean, the players don't really have as much of like a say in that as like people would think, because it's still the owner's league. It's the players.
But I would also say there are some guys who weren't involved who got hurt. Like, in the bubble,
oh no, definitely.
It wasn't really exactly the quick turnaround.
You see a team like the Suns who got bumped out really early last year, and they've been able.
Yeah, but look at the Bucks. Like, Giannis got hurt, but like.
Yeah, and they have virtually the same team minus Bledsoe for Drew Holiday. No. Drew Holiday brings a ton, but the Suns, they've been with or without Chris Paul every other game this playoffs, and they found a way to win with freaking Cameron Payne as their point guard.
Well, that's a team that just
has they know how to play together and find a way. It's interesting.
Like when Cameron Payne came to the Bulls, when it was Jimmy Butler, D Wade, Rondo. everybody was like, why the hell is he on this team? We don't want him. It's Cameron
he was
Payne.
bad.
He's a joke on 2K. He'd be on your 2K franchise. You're trying to trade him for a second round
a
pick.
minimum contract.
Like,
you're trying to flip for that second.
And everybody's like, Cameron Payne can't play. Like even JJ Redick said on his podcast, like, he's like, I take my words back. Like Cameron Payne can ball. Like he's just like, he can hoop. Like we all thought he was a joke, and like he can hoop. And like I think that's the thing too, is like what's so cool about the NBA playoffs that I think is different than baseball and then football too, because football is such a team game where like if the quarterback doesn't play well in the playoffs, it's the quarterback's fault, but everybody else just kind of has to play their game. It's not really held against them with how they play in the playoffs. Is the playoffs make your career in the NBA. Yeah. If you can't play in the playoffs or your game doesn't elevate, you're going to get a cheaper deal or you're not going to have
there's one name that I will say that doesn't apply to that, and his name's Harrison Barnes. He sucks in the playoffs, and that man's got paid.
Well, he was also on the first Warriors championship.
Yeah, and he shot like 0 for 30 that series.
Yeah, but when you're associated with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, you're getting paid.
Sure. Number 7 pick or whatever on a team did horribly, got paid like 8 times over. Sure, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, he's an Iowa man. He deserves to get paid.
Fuck yeah, he's an Iowa man. He's Ames high grad.
Yeah. Where Jack would have gone.
It's where I would have went. And I grew up around the corner from Doug McNurbit. Not a big deal.
The question is, if you run to Doug McDermott on the streets of Chicago, will he remember you?
No, but I'd say I remember when the Bulls traded up to take you instead of like every other player worth a damn. So
yeah,
thanks, Doug.
Your life. I could totally see you like freaking out. Like,
dude, I was freaking out for the worst reason. I was like, the Bulls traded up for Doug in the lottery? I was beside myself, actually. I remember that day. I walked outside and I was like, what did we just do? I was like, I'm happy that it's Doug, but like.
So you want to know who we could have gotten after
Nurkic.
We could have gotten Nurkic, but we could have gotten Zach LaVine.
And I'm pretty sure Jokic was in that draft too.
Could have gotten Zach LaVine, Clint Capella, Rodney Hood. Oh, Shabazz Napier. What a name. Gary Harris.
Yep.
Nikola Jokic. Spencer Dinwiddie, Jeremy Grant, who's a hooper. Jordan Clarkson's
a walking bucket. Yeah, so I mean, we're a little off topic now with the NBA, but it's like, dude, yeah, like wait, how many years until the Bulls make the championship? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3,
20
3 years. You said fucking 20 years?
No chance this team makes the finals.
Come on, dude. You can't just be like a little optimistic. Hold on. Last NBA like topic I want to hit on, because this has been a really big one for the Bulls. Because truthfully, I think we both just agreed that we hope the Suns win. But
yeah,
would you trade for Ben Simmons if you're the Bulls? And would you send Kobe White on the other end?
No.
Wow. See, like, I think I would, but that's just me.
If you would have asked me at the beginning of the season, I would have said yeah. But the thing with Ben is, okay, we got a center, okay, who he can shoot the 3-ball and stuff. But the question is, if we need Ben to hit a big shot and he has to go to the paint and the paint's jammed up and he goes to the line and he can't make his free throws in a big moment, I don't know if I want a guy like that. Compared to at least with White, we know he can make a shot. We know he can shoot a little bit.
Yeah, little bit. We just need the ball out of. Oh my God, it's like you don't want LaVine to be the point guard, but you also don't want Kobe to be the point guard.
Right.
So it's like we need a new point guard.
I want Lonzo Ball. That's my dude.
I want
Lonzo.
So I think Lonzo wants to come too, but it's like,
why wouldn't he?
You can hope for these things. Obviously, they won't happen.
I just don't want his.
I don't think it'd be horrible for Ben Simmons to be a ball, but that's just me.
But ZO2, like everybody, when ZO2 came out, he could shoot the 3.
Oh, yeah.
He's now become one of the 2 3-point shooters on the Pelicans. Him and Ingram, they're the only ones who can shoot the 3-ball. So imagine if the Bulls had a guy in ZO2 and I only call him ZO2. It's the only way I know him. ZO2 shoots the 3 ball, is a lengthy guy who plays defense. He's a legit guy on the defensive end, and he's tall. I love big point guards. I just love
do too. I think
point guards. I think they changed the game. And ZO2 can make lob, no-look passes to Levine on the alleys.
You know who my favorite tall point guard is of all time?
Don't say Magic Johnson.
Michael Carter Williams. Magic Johnson diet.
I mean, dude, how can't you not like Michael Carter Williams? Rookie of the year, like former Chicago Bull.
Actually?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, with the Sixers.
No, with the Buck. Oh, yeah, with the Sixers.
Man, he was, yeah. Shout out Michael Carter. That's a name. Is he playing overseas yet, or is he like in the G League?
I'm looking. Last time I checked, he was in the G League.
You know, it's Michael Carter Williams. I think he's been.
Oh no, he's on the Orlando Magic.
Oh,
he's never hit the G League.
He and Fultz. Good job. That's a hell of a guard room. Or wait, hold on. Question. I don't know the correct front court, back court. What's the difference? I actually don't even know it. I just hear people say it, and I just think that like I could use either one, and I would sound correct. And given whichever setting I say it in, I probably would be correct. But what is like the correct way of saying it?
Front court's power forwards and centers. Back court's your guards.
Okay. All right. That makes more sense. Because obviously I hear it all the time. It's just like jargon that you hear thrown out.
So like imagine if you're at the imagine if you're looking front court, back court.
Oh, yeah. If you're on defense. Yep. I understand now. Okay. All right. That makes more sense. That was just
guards on the perimeter.
Yeah. All right. And kind of in the same vein of Chicago sports, we figured we would give you guys a little update on our Cubs and White Sox. So, Sam, don't worry. I'll get to the Cubs. Obviously, we'll talk about the White Sox first. 49-34, 6 games ahead in their division. It's not like there was any question about that. And obviously the Cubs, they're 42-42, just trying to stay above water. 8.5 games behind the Brewers.
Just went through a little rough patch.
So the All-Star game rosters also just came out this week with the Sox getting Carlos Rodon, Liam Hendricks, and Lance Lynn on the All-Star team. And then the Cubs got Brian
KB and Kimbrel.
How does it feel knowing that the 2 All-Stars for the Cubs won't be on the team by the end of the season?
Yeah, we will. Yeah, they will.
You're delusional, Sam. This needs to be told to the public. You can't keep saying these things. There's probably a lot of people listening. They hear you say these things, and there's a lot of false hope out there. You're playing into it. There's no way. I don't see that happening.
KB, I've been saying it all year. Originally, I was all in on the trade. I was like, you know what? We might as well just trade him and get what we can get. But I really don't think we can get value for KB on a trade compared to riding it out and playing out this year. And if he walks, he walks, and that's on us. But the thing I keep thinking about is obviously we haven't gotten a deal done. But if this year, if we grind this season, we make a run,
Jesus Christ,
we pay him. We pay
Sam,
him.
they're 1-9 in their last 10 going into the All-Star break. They suck.
But that's how we always are, and then we bounce back in July.
That's not something you. Yeah, always bounce back. You've bounced back once.
We bounced back plenty.
Once it was one bounce back.
That's not true.
Look, what I'm just gonna say about you guys are selling. You guys are sellers. You guys needed this losing streak to know you guys are sellers. Come on, you can't keep. You guys needed a little magic to get people in the stands, just to get a little draw, because people were uber pessimistic for this season. Nobody thought the Cubs were going to be shit. I thought the Cubs were going to be a bottom 3 team. Now you got a Patrick Wisdom story. That's pretty cool. You got Javi.
Wisdom.
You got Javi defying the rules of baseball. You got Anthony Rizzo yelling at people on the base paths and pitching. Like, yeah, the Cubs were fun, but guys, there's nothing to it. Like, they can't. There's no room to buy. I don't think.
Here's what I've been saying. The Cubs for years, the biggest problem we've had besides our bats getting cold every so often is in big moments is we didn't have pitching. We had no pitching. We had no relief pitchers. It was awful. With the years we had Brandon Morrow and all those guys. Like, it was brutal. And when Craig wasn't being Craig finally became Craig when we need him. Like, when we really were kind of like, who cares if Craig's Craig? We're just paying out the contract. He's like, oh, no, I'm back. Took a little vacation for a year or two, but I'm back now. We're like, great, now you show up. But our bullpen's crushing it. Like, our bullpen's been doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, so, it's just they don't have a lead to fucking hold.
Right, and we shouldn't have traded you away. That's my thing. Is now we should looking at it from now. I supported the trade before, but now I'm kind of like we shouldn't have traded you.
You want to know the worst part, Sam?
What?
Castellanos, Schwarber, and you are
all stars. I know. So I've counted. I'm like, technically, we have 5 all-stars.
That's horrible, dude.
I will
that
say
hurts. That's gotta hurt. Like, that's gotta sting a little.
If we had Castellanos, we would have had the bat we needed. Okay, we had that handled. And the thing too is, even if we got rid of Schwarber, we could have put Castellanos in the outfield.
Yeah, Castellanos is a definite like replacement for Schwarber.
Right,
100%.
And
Schwarber can't hit a lefty, but he can only hit a righty, and it's like, hey,
I mean,
a lot of right-handed pitchers in the league nowadays.
The stats show, but my whole thing with Schwarbs is I cannot be angry about how he's performing now.
Fuck yeah, no,
because
be angry.
He had the stress and pressure of you got to be this slugger in Chicago. Look at what you were when you first came up. You were magic. Like, where is that? We need all you guys to show up. And I just think it was contentious. It was stressful. Like, you can't perform under that type of stress and pressure, especially after you win the greatest World Series of all time. Like, where do you go from there? So my whole thing is with Schwarbs is I'm happy for him. He's with Davey Martinez, who's an awesome dude, a great manager. And whatever happens, like, we lost Schwarbs, but I don't miss his defense, to be honest with you. I don't really want the homers to have the defense. That's my thing.
So I kind of want to pivot as well, because we've been sobbing about the Cubs for a couple minutes. But one thing I have floated to a lot of my friends is I don't think the Nationals are selling. I think they're gonna try and giddy up for a little run, but
Schwarbs to the White Sox next offseason.
No. That's not what I'm saying. We don't need no. But, like, if he wasn't having this type of year where he's, like, in the home run race, like, he's killing it, he should not be traded. But, like, let's say you cut his numbers in half. He's just like a normal Schwarber year. He would be a great guy for the Sox to go trade right now, because they are barely staying afloat because of their 3 all-star pitchers and great pitching.
And if 2 of them get hurt, which I predict they will,
they're putting a AAA lineup, bro. They're putting a AAA lineup out there. They need a couple bats. I think Schwarber would be awesome, but I think the one that is a story that I will not let die until the 31st passes is KB to the fucking White Sox.
It's not happening,
bro. I know, but, like, it's a match made in heaven for what we need right now.
If KB went to the White Sox,
it's a match. It's like, it's so insane to say, but it's like,
I might retire
when the Sox traded Quintana to the Cubs for that run. It's like,
that's different.
Crazier things, Sam. There's crazier things that have happened between these teams.
You can't sell Quintana to sell jerseys and stuff in the city. You can sell KB jerseys and make some money.
I mean, shit. I don't care. Like,
Quintana, what I'm saying is the Cubs aren't giving up that money to across the city. Like, the amount of money KB brings in on social media and everything else, just like, there's no way.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun thought to think about, but
if he did that, I would cry.
It's gotta suck to see, like, 8 names on that All-Star list, and you're like, boy, that was like the Cubs we knew, and now the Cubs we know are like,
we're still
an absolute dumpster fire, trash panda joke of an organization.
Trash Panda is a legit minor league baseball team.
I know
the Trash Pandas in Alabama.
I know. I saw those jerseys and they're awesome.
Yeah, my cousin covers them.
Speaking
shout
of
out Max.
Trash Panda, shout out Max. I got in an Uber ride last, I think it was last semester, and this guy, my Uber driver, told me that he would buy 20 pounds of dog food each week for a lot, like 50 plus Trash Pandas, and he would feed them in his backyard. And he enjoyed feeding these raccoons. It was insane. I never thought of, like, viewing
A
raccoons
commitment.
as pets. Yeah, he said he would buy 20 pounds each week. That's an insane amount of dog food.
Some people go to New York to like feed the ducks in Central Park. He goes to the backyard to feed the raccoons.
Damn trash panda's got a tugging on his heartstrings right now.
But anyway, like with KB, I've kind of been at the point. It's been hard. Like it's been a really hard process with the guys we have and who are we going to re-up, who are we not? Because I don't want to see us rebuild. I really don't want to see that. But at the same time, if KB leaves, it'll be tragic because when he first came, I thought he'd be a Cub for life. But honestly, my whole thing is like, it's so hard for me to bash them because they gave us 2016. Like, it's so bad to say, but it's like whatever management decides and what KB and those guys decide, I'm fine with. The only person I don't want them to treat poorly, honestly, in terms of leaving things on bad terms is Rizzo. That's it. Because Rizzo changed the culture, completely.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my Cub fanatic friends, and we got down to the conversation of like who the Cubs would realistically extend after this year. I'm just assuming that they're not making the playoffs. It's got to be Rizzo. Like if you're not re-signing anyone, it's got to be Rizzo. Like,
we talked about this on an earlier pod too.
But like at this point, like Bryant's out. Like he's even like been vocal this year. He's been playing like he wants to get traded and get moved and be a rental somewhere and like hopefully move on with his life. And Baez, I mean, yeah, the guy's awesome.
And it's all because the Ricketts didn't give him the respect and just say, "Hey, we'll pay you a little bit more."
Exactly.
Like, and my whole thing is they could have paid him a little bit more, and it would have been tough salary wise. But then they could have traded that contract away if he wasn't playing up to what we expect him to play.
Right. So, and the thing I was going to say about Javi is like, yeah, Javi's like a fun watch, but when Javi's bad, he's horrible, like horrible. And you can't pay a guy like 25 million to be getting on base like sub 250 sometimes. Like and Javi's going to be getting paid. So they got a lot of tough questions to answer, but I think it's becoming a lot simpler now that it's got to just be Rizzo, man. Like that's the only way you make everyone happy, I think.
And like what's tough is like it hit me the other day when I was talking to one of my friends who's a Sox fan that we've won the World Series now almost 5 years ago. It's crazy. It's been 5 years, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And it's like it's been 6 years or 7 years since those guys have come up. And when they first came up, it felt like it'd be forever when they'd get paid. And now we're at forever. It's like, it's really depressing, to be honest. And like, you're pumped about the Sox and everything, but I got to be honest, I still don't see them winning a World Series. Like, I mess with you about the Sox plenty, but I seriously just don't see them winning a championship. I just don't see them being a team that can win it. And I'm not even saying that to like,
I mean, you can say that. Nobody expected like the Nationals to win the World Series. Nobody like expects the Rays to make those runs, but like
I expect
it all happens. It all happens eventually. Destiny, chance, luck. I mean, luck is when opportunity and preparation meet, and that's what the Sox have done all year. They're going to be really lucky, and they have been.
What happens when your manager's too drunk to show up at a game?
He's not. Tony's been dry all year. I've been asking my sources on the inside. Tony's been drinking O'Doul's and Sprite all day, every day.
I don't know about that.
He'll have the occasional cigarette in the office, but I mean, who will get upset at their manager for smoking a cigarette in his office, for Christ's sake? So. Yeah, I think there'd be bigger and worse things to worry about. Last thing on the Sox, an era has ended. Mercedes was just optioned to AAA Charlotte. It's fine. I mean, life goes on. He did his job, so he'll be up for the playoffs.
He did his job for a month.
Yeah, he did his job. I mean, he instilled some joy when everybody was getting sniper shot and killed.
Jack thought he was the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, I cried when I saw him hit his home runs. I was like, this guy.
I know.
This guy is instilling some hope into me right now when everyone's getting killed. It was insane, and God bless him. So, yeah, I wish Mercedes nothing but the best. We'll see him soon. But Jake Berger is now my guy. Jake Berger.
I'll just wait until Jake Berger starts to fall off the deep end too.
Jake Berger's been through a lot. Let's root for him.
Let's root for him.
He's torn his. I think he tore his Achilles like twice.
Yeah,
That sucks.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, though, is you guys love the injured players, or if they're healthy, if they come to you, I clean medical history, never had an injury in my life.
Can't do it.
They step into your ballpark, which
Can't do
you
it.
guys change the name all the time, so I don't even know what you call it anymore.
Guaranteed rate or the G spot for the cool kids.
Yeah. I don't know if any cool kids go to White Sox games. They're usually in
Everyone
Wrigleyville,
does, actually.
Cool kids are in Wrigleyville, but they show up on the south side and they're like, how can I make a play today? They try to make that play, get hurt, and then they go into the training room after, and half the team's in that training room.
Right, because they're just playing their balls out. They're just playing like dogs. You know,
No,
Abreu's
just
eating
like, how can I
98
collect
in the knee.
insurance?
Abreu's eating 98 in the knee and playing the next day because, you know, he's just boring like that.
See, Abreu is the only player on your team I respect. I love Abreu.
Yeah, I will say this before we wrap this up, but Moncada's having an all right year. He is fucking soft as baby shit, dude.
Yeah.
He's soft as baby shit. That guy could get a fucking hangnail and say he's out for a week. He looks like he's like ready to die at any time. I don't get it. Like Moncada's like looks like the most God-gifted baseball player whenever he's on, but like he looks like he doesn't want to be there sometimes. And it's just
I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to be there either. Wearing those ugly black and white and gray jerseys, like it's like so grim. Like, how do you go to the game and say this is a fun place to be? It's like just grim. You guys don't even have real colors.
Here, I'll tell you
real
what.
Team colors.
I'll tell you why. The Sox made Cub snakes cool because the Cubs try to make them uncool, and then the Cubs brought them back.
No. We always have made Cub snakes.
No.
Always.
No, the Cubs used to kick people out for Cub snakes.
Nah, that's propaganda. That's fake news.
Here we
Never
go.
Got kicked out. We welcome that. We welcome that. Why do you think we had the bleacher bums? Come on, we welcome the parties.
Now they do. They sent Ricketts down there to make it look all political. They're like, hey, look at me, I'm holding the cup snake. It's like, shut up. What? Tom? Is that his first name?
Tom, yeah.
Screw you, Tom. Hold on. Last thing before we sign off. Tom rings a bell. You know the GPS company TomTom?
Yeah.
One of their cars was just driving around this yesterday, driving around my neighborhood. So we're gonna be on the next TomTom map.
So did you step outside so you could be in it?
No, but I made sure to make sure that there was someone driving the car because I have heard like conspiracies that sometimes those cars are unmanned and just driven by maps or technology. So yeah, someone was driving that, and then I thought, do you think I could actually like do that as a job? Like, how long do you think those shifts are? Like,
there's only one way to find out. You should apply.
Yeah, TomTom GPS mapper.
I think for the rest of the summer, instead of spending the time mowing the lawn at home, you just get in the GPS and you're like, hey, I have a bigger call, and I'm making a map for TomTom.
You're making a fucking map for TomTom.
Sorry, Mom, I can't mow the lawn today. Making a map.
Yep. Sorry, GPSing. Got to be back. See you later.
Hey, stand outside 2:51 p.m. I'm going to be driving by and you will be on the map.
You'll be on the TomTom GPS map. I swear to God, just stand outside. I'll get you on it.
I feel like there'd be a couple buddies of yours who would be begging to be on the map.
100%. And I'll put them on the map. Don't worry. You know who you are.
Yeah, they know. You could probably make it a competition who could get on the map first.
Yeah, I could make the fantasy football league winner.
Yeah.
We're also final thing. We're trying to figure out a penalty for losing our fantasy league.
Oh, easy.
Yeah?
Wait, my friend just sent me something about like a punishment.
I had a good one.
So yeah, this is a good one. So my friend told me about do you know what bronies are?
Bronies.
Yeah, bronies. They're like guys who go to these conventions and dress up as like My Little Pony and stuff. Like they're super.
So you'd have to dress up as one?
So you have to dress up as one and walk around town.
All right. So I have two ideas. One, taking an ACT fucked up. I think that would be good.
That would be good.
or going on a date with a sex doll.
So one of my friends has like done that for his league.
Yeah.
Or
How does
no, it
that
wasn't
go?
a sex doll. It was a bear. So what he had to do was he had to take a
Teddy
big
bear?
teddy bear to do a steak
Yeah.
dinner. And so
Oh, yeah.
he had to say a table for two. He had to order the teddy bear food.
Yeah.
Like it was a whole thing. But then the other one that one of my other friends has done in like one of our leagues was we made him like eat at like a pizza place. Like it was kind of like the waffle challenge if you've seen it on Twitter, where it's like every hour you have to eat
I
like
send that to my buddies. You got to eat one every hour. Yeah.
and they have to be there for 24 hours. And if
Right.
they eat one, it takes an hour off their time.
Yeah.
That's a good one too. Because then you
Yeah.
could have them IG live it.
Yeah.
So you can be watching, or you could have people go and check in,
Yeah,
have one slice with them.
We have a Denny's. We have a Denny's nearby, so we could do that with pancakes.
Yeah. No, you should do pancakes and like hash browns or something. Like mix the hash browns in there. Can you imagine having 24 rounds of hash browns?
No.
It would be brutal.
You got anything else?
No, but I think next pod we get an update on what you decide for the punishment to be.
Yeah, we're still milling it around, figuring it out. I mean, I don't think we'll commit to it anytime soon, but we're trying to find something that will really hurt someone's feelings and ego.
So who's the loser?
Oh, we don't know yet. The last loser got egged, and I don't think
is this for next year? Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about for this year.
No, this year the punishment was already dished.
What was it?
Just fucking getting egged.
Getting egged.
Stupid. I don't know.
Who came up with that?
One of them.
No, who was the guy that got egged? I think that should be part of the punishment. He gets name dropped on the pod.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. I'm not going to give him that power. He'll have to pay me for one. No free ads.
Exactly.
See, I'm learning. You got anything else though on the
Training you well.
Well?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Let's close this one out. And
guys, appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you hanging with us. We got A1 content coming your way, of course. Keep your eyes peeled. We got a really big one coming. So if you haven't been really tuning in lately,
that's tough. Yeah,
you better fucking tune in now. So like always, not the same time, same place. We will see you guys later.